Hello, once again, YouTube fam, what's up? Thanks for rocking with me. Thanks for hanging out with me. So, it's Matt here. Good to see you. Remember to like, subscribe, share, hit that bell for notifications, get all that admin out of the way, as they call it in New Zealand, admin. So this is a quick video to talk about cravings and urges. I'm going to call this Cravings Killer or Craving Killer, one or the other. You'll see the title underneath this. So, what do I mean by that? So, I'm talking about different kinds of cravings. In specific here, ones that generally lead to self-destructive behavior, i.e. Using controlled substances, drinking, drugging, compulsive behavior like gambling, unsafe sex, even shopping binges when you're already over your head in debt, all kinds of crazies. I mean, just inadvisable behavior that can lead to real harm for yourself and others. And you feel a craving for that. So that's some of what I'm talking about. It could be, if it's something else that I haven't mentioned, hopefully this is useful for you too. I've been very fortunate in the last few years. I have a very solid support network, support structure. I have a really good family. I have awesome parents. I have a really cool sister. I have a really cool aunt and uncle who know about my struggles with addiction and mental health and depression and things like that I deal with. They've been very supportive of me through all of that. And I've been very lucky. The upshot of that is I have some really great specialists in my life. So right now I've got a really great, therapist and a psychiatrist, two separate people, one for medication, one for talk therapy. And they know each other, so they can discuss me together. And that's actually had to happen a couple of times in the past when I was in crisis situations, like life or death type situations. As usual, my video is going to be a little bit heavy. They almost always are, I'm noticing on this channel. I'm not doing it to be deliberately provocative or upsetting, I promise. I'm trying to spread good, useful, helpful stuff. So, cravings. So my therapist taught me something. When I tell you this, it's going to sound funny. It's going to sound like I'm being trite, or I'm being sort of frivolous, maybe, like light about it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a craving. That's not it at all. Cravings can be knee buckling, mouth watering. They can make you, swerve your car on the freeway, almost run into a pole. I've had cravings that have made me almost debilitated to where I couldn't think straight. I couldn't concentrate. So, and many a time in my past, I gave into those cravings and paid a very steep price for them. So hopefully you can hear me over this wind. I'm trying to make this one quick. For the first time ever, a quick one on my YouTube. So here are some things you can do with a craving. So let's just do a hypothetical. Let's say that your problem is a certain drug that rhymes with Spokane, Washington. Okay, you're getting really bad cravings for it. You've got the bubble guts, tummy's rumbling. I know about this stuff. I know what I'm talking about. Mouth is dry. Maybe you're getting sexually activated, or you're getting angry. You might be having some sort of a panic mode. These are all very upsetting things. So what do you do? Well, if you're in a place where you're safe, that's the first thing. Get somewhere safe. If you're driving, please use your signals, get off the road, pull off the road, and sit. If you already happen to be somewhere where you're safe, like 4 walls and a roof, and you've got a place you can sit down, that's the thing too. Try and sit. Be in a relaxed position. Sit in a comfortable chair, or if you have to, on a bench or whatever, or even on a curb. Right here in this park, there's plenty of curbs. So just sit, try to get comfortable. Because the point is to get yourself as de-escalated as possible physically, so that your body is more comfortable and you have less things stressing you that will add to the craving and embellish it and multiply it and make it even harder and harder to say no to and to turn down. Okay, so there's that. So you do that physically. Try to be comfortable as well. If you're really, really hot, do something to get cool. Get yourself a glass of water, whatever. But if you can't control those things like the temperature, it's okay. This is still going to help you. I promise. And I would love to hear back from those of you who give this a shot or have similar tactics that you use to help fight cravings and urges. So now you're relatively comfortable. You're stable, right? You're safe. There's not a danger of someone flinging open a door and the door's going to hit you, or an object might come flying and hit you. Your children, if they're around, there's not a possibility their toy will fly and hit you or anything like that. You're safe, right? You're safe, physically safe. So this is the part that's trippy, and it sounds weird, but I swear it works. Focus on the craving. Think to yourself, and regard it like you would a plane flying over your head. Wow, look at that. I wonder where that plane's going. I wonder if there's people on that plane. I wonder if they're on vacation or they're flying because of their career, their work. They're going from point A to point B for a conference or a trip or whatever. Maybe they live out of state from their family and they're going to visit relatives, that kind of thing, right? Do that with the craving. Go, huh, that's interesting. I have this taste in my mouth that reminds me of when I use that substance. Or I swear to God, I smell his cologne and I miss him. I wish I was near him. But unfortunately, we can't be together because he puts his hands on me or, raises his voice, what have you. Things I cannot allow myself to give into, that I cannot allow myself to indulge. I need to resist these things. So you look at it that way, and I know this sounds like it might be impossible when you're really elevated, but I swear to you, you can do this. And the more you focus on it, it's a bit like guided meditation, for those of you who've ever done that, where you relax different parts of your body sequentially. Start with your fingers, move up your arms or shoulders out to your fingers. You do that with the craving, and one of two or both things will happen. One, the edge of the craving will soften. It won't seem as urgent. It won't seem as life or death. You won't be, I guarantee you just about, salivating will go down. You won't be just like, oh, I would kill for a taste of, fill in the blank. I would kill for a sniff of, again, his cologne. I just wish I could feel him near me. I miss him so much. I'm not saying you don't miss him, and I'm not saying you didn't have your reasons for whatever your habits were in the past, but they've proven to be dangerous, toxic, possibly deadly, so we don't want to give in to them. We don't want to indulge these urges. So you think about that, you sort of look at it and you picture it. What happens sometimes is you'll get a visual in your mind. You'll actually see the craving as something. And I don't want to project and tell you what I see mine as, because then you might think, oh, well, he's just filling my mind with something, kind of like hypnosis. I don't want to give you hypnotic suggestions. But for me, I see objects, actual physical objects that are particular colors when I think about my urges. It's a trippy thing. When it happens to you, by all means, put something in the comments. Let me know what color and shape and size and flavor yours turns out to be. So there's that. Now, again, you're staying seated, right? Please stay seated. I want this video also to be something you guys can pull up and use when you're in a jam. I want this to be a tool to help. So you're in a safe place, you're comfortable, and you're thinking about your urge and your craving, you're focusing on it. Key here, you're not running from it. You notice that, right? You're not making excuses for it or trying to turn it into something it isn't. You're not saying, I feel just like I just need to get off or get high or get loaded or get the hell out of here. I have to, or else I just don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna freak out or I'm gonna die or whatever. Just this very catastrophic thinking, right? That's not happening now that you're focusing on the urge. You're seeing it for what it is. Oh, my taste buds are activated. It's a certain kind of weather today. That's when I used to get together with my friends and use our drug of choice. It's when I used to see my lover and he would take me to the beach on a day like this and then yell at me in the car there and back. Notice those things. It's all tied together. We're not just brains, we're bodies with brains in them. The whole being, holistic, right? The entire human organism. We've got to treat that if we really want to get better and have healthier habits, be happier in general, not so miserable as addicts tend to be. And people with mental health issues obviously wrestle with that all the time. It's very serious stuff. So you're seeing this, right? Now here's the last part. If you sit like this and you try to stay as comfortable as you can be and you regard the craving or the urge for what it is, you see it for what it is, you don't try to devalue it or judge yourself for having it. You just go, that's very interesting that I'm thinking about that. Knowing full well that could lead me down a disastrous path or toward harm, hurting myself or hurting others. I don't want that. You don't want that. They don't want that. We don't want that. Don't want that. So we're aware now. We are concentrating, doing our best to be a decent, reasonable human being in this moment, okay? What will happen with the craving and the urge? It will turn into something else. I didn't believe this myself until I did it about 2 or 3 times, and I've done it since hundreds. I mean, I've lost count, maybe in the thousands now. The craving turns into something else. And what I was talking about today in a group that I was in, of other people in recovery, was you'll be surprised what it turns into. So like for me, I've had where my mouth is just watering. I can taste Scotch whiskey, which is one of my favorite things ever. No matter how sober I am, it's still something that I think about. because I just really enjoyed it in my life before I had developed a problem. That wishing for a taste of Scotch whiskey has, I swear to God, turned into the thought of, when's the last time I flew a kite? I'm not joking. I thought about kite. And then I thought, where do you get kites? I guess Toys R Us or the hobby store, Hobby Lobby, something like that. They would have kites. I mean, Amazon.com, obviously. That has happened to me before. Other times, a craving to do something, a dangerous behavior. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna make a couple of phone calls from my little black book, what have you, right? Not advisable. You could catch something or get hurt. Okay, sit there and you think about that, and you know, it's been a long time since I watched Stranger Things Season 1 on Netflix. So you put that on and, oh yeah, 11, she's cool. The little girl with magic powers. That's not a spoiler. It's there from the beginning of the show. But next thing you know, you're watching Stranger Things. And you're sitting there on your couch, and you haven't hurt anybody, you haven't hurt yourself, you haven't contacted anyone that's not a good idea to contact. You've beaten the craving. It's a victory, a small one, but a victory nonetheless. Congratulate yourself, be proud of yourself. I am definitely proud of you. You can do this. I'll talk to you soon.